This is Smolt. He wasn't always a Forsaken. Before this, he was a human. But he now follows Sylvanas Windrunner. When he died, he broke away from the Scourge and took control of Lordaeron. Then, through the grace of Sylvanas and some necromancy, he was brought back as a Forsaken. To become a Forsaken, you must die in battle or of natural causes, at which he did. Although he didn't have the best death, he still went out a warrior, which was perfect in Sylvanas' eyes. When he came back, he adopted the Forsaken identity, which came with some very unique racial and cultural heritage. But this you will see yourself. We're not interested in that. We want to know his background, because this is just what we know. We're going to have to do a deep dive. Smolt lived in a small village called Ambermill. This was a human town located slightly southwest of Lordmere Lake and Silverpine Forest. It was occupied by the forces of Kirin Tor. This was a group that was friendly to the Alliance. It was originally part of the Kingdom of Gilneas. It is made up of a small town hall, a stable, several mills, and a lumber mill. Darlanarian wizards lived and protected the inhabitants from the forest's dangers. However, the town was eventually taken by the Forsaken. When the Forsaken took over Ambermill, they were invading Trisfall and Quothalis. During this invasion, they continued through the area and took over Ambermill, and they continued to occupy it to this day. But what did life look like in this small village before the invasion? This small town was a pretty unimportant site. It was mainly used for lumber harvesting, whilst being owned by the Gilnean nobleman Darius Crawley. Although Smolt lived in this small town, he would still find time to practice his demonology, which wasn't frowned upon in this city, nor anywhere. It was known that something could go wrong at any minute, with the world of Azeroth constantly changing. So by day he would be harvesting lumber at the lumber mill, and by night he would practice. But when the invasion would come, they would not expect it to come so soon. To the buildup of the invasion before the building of the Grey Main Wall, Ambermill and the nearby Pyrewood were owned by the Gilnean nobleman Darius Crawley. At the time of the scourging of Lordaeron, the wall separated them from the rest of Gilneas when the doors were closed. This would cause Darius Crawley to lead a civil war against Jin Greymane. This war would come to be known as the Northgate Rebellion. Why was the closing of the gate such a problem? King Jin Greymane made the decision to leave the Alliance to isolate his kingdom from the world behind the wall. This would also abandon his people and the refugees from Lordaeron, handing them over to the undead of the Scourge. Shortly after the Scourge and Burning Legion had started their rampage through the Netherlands, the Darlaran wizards began forming a plan on how they could strategically use the town to their advantage. Ambermill would continue to be a source of human opposition, mainly from the support they were getting from the wizards of Darlaran. Ambermill just so happened to be located atop a dormant leyline energy node. The Kirin Tor attempted to reactivate the node for a large-scale project that was interrupted by the Forsaken, as they feared to lose their hold on Silverpine Forest if that had been accomplished. The Scourge began to take interest in the small town, as they learned from one of their prisoners that the wizards of Kirin Tor at Ambermill have stored away important documents pertaining to the current state of Darlaran. Minute Karkad asked an adventuring rogue to obtain the documents. Who were these rogues, though? Could they have been the Deathstalkers? That's exactly who it was. They are an assassination guild of the Forsaken. Their numbers grew with the sanction of Lady Sylvanas. These rogues were no ordinary rogues. They were highly trained and extremely dangerous. The fact that they are undead helps them immensely in their role as an assassin. As Forsaken, they have no need to sleep or even breathe air. They possess tremendous willpower. They can remain submerged in water indefinitely without any need to rise and can wait as long as it takes for their target to arrive. They can even pose as corpses, since by all means that is exactly what they are. Executors are seen to hold an authority on the Deathstalkers, sending them on various missions. So are they capable? Yes. They are more than capable of doing whatever they are needed to do. During this time, Smolt would just be training and living his life. There wasn't much for him to do. He had no clue about all the underlying factors. If Smolt had known, maybe he could have done something. But Smolt had no clue of the Deathstalkers. During this time, the town had no problems with helping the wizards. Evelina Lilly provided her tailoring services to the wizards at Ambermill, and Ambermill provided a safe haven for those Alliance adventurers traveling to the Trisfall Glades and beyond. Many people would help during this time, like the lumber mill workers and others would help with essential resources and assistance. After all this help, it would do no good. Eventually, the town would fall. Or, well, it would be teleported. When the Forsaken conquered Silverpine Forest, the inhabitants of Ambermill shifted their entire town to a pocket dimension to keep the Forsaken at bay. It is revealed that they were plotting to return to aid the Alliance in its invasion of Lordaeron when more reinforcements arrived. The town was only accessible from a dimensional portal in Baron's Peril, but it could only be entered by one person with a Darlaran Archmage's signet ring. These pocket dimensions have many names, such as planes, dimensions, realm of existence, or simply realms. They are cosmic regions within the Warcraft universe, created by the first ones. Besides reality and its physical realm, 6 cosmic forces from the universe. All these forces push and pull against one another in an unending tug of war, constantly vying for power over each other. If one fell, all worlds would fall into chaos. Existence within these planes is not a simple thing. It consists of layers upon layers of realities that can be traversed through magical means. The multiverse is a term used to refer to all the possible universes in World of Warcraft. At the pocket dimension, Ambermill Magi created elemental servitors to protect their territories from the Forsaken. One horde adventurer entered the portal on behalf of Sylvanas Windrunner and killed many Ambermill Magi and Archmage Ateric. Archmage Ateric was a human member of the Kirin Tor in Ambermill in Silverpine Forest. His death and staff was required by Shadow Priest Alistair. After the cataclysm, he continued trying to defend Ambermill but was killed and raised into undeath as a Forsaken, responsible for keeping the pocket dimension active. With Ateric killed, the town returned to Azeroth, leaving it open for the Forsaken to invade and do as they please. Under the reign of Sylvanas Windrunner, the town would eventually fall to the Forsaken. All the inhabitants who were slain, including Ateric, were risen as Forsaken. The former residents of Ambermill, including Ateric, will appear in a Horde questline, contributing to the A Forsaken victory and making it clear where their loyalties lie in undeath. And this is exactly how Smolt would go out. He would die in the heart of battle defending his beloved town, Ambermill. He would try his hardest, but he would not succeed. When looking into Smolt's sad story, I realized there are so many different paths. World of Warcraft is so much bigger than I thought. Some things I found very interesting is all the different pocket dimensions, the first ones and who they are, and the third war. If I was to make another video, it would probably be on some of these things. Although I could build Smolt's story way more and really branch it out, I wanted it to be simple. I wanted it to be 10 to 15 minutes long and just try to make a video. So this will be it.